With iOS 26, Apple has added some really cool new customization features that allow you to make your iPhone even more unique. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I've set up my lock screen, control center, widgets menu, and the home screen itself. All designed around a few key attributes: maximum functionality, zero redundancy, and a clean, cohesive aesthetic. Let's dive in. In iOS 26, Apple added a fun new feature that, if done right, can result in an incredibly fresh and clean look for your lock screen. I am of course referring to the new clock font that you can change the height of to create lock screens that have more depth and personality than ever before. I've been using it in every single new lock screen that I create. Another fun new feature that I personally haven't been using a whole lot but is still really cool is the new spatial scene feature. You can turn any image on your lock screen into a dynamic image that moves around as you move your phone. When you pick the right image, it can actually be a pretty cool effect. Let's build a lock screen from scratch so I can show you my thought process step by step. To start, long press anywhere on your lock screen to open the customization menu. Here you can choose to edit an existing lock screen or create a new one from scratch. Tap the plus button and you'll see a number of options at the top, as well as some presets that your iPhone creates for you automatically. 99.9% of the time, I just choose the image option and then choose my own photo. I always start by changing the very top widget above the time to the conditions widget. This gives me instant at-a-glance information about the temperature outside so that I know what I should wear for the day. This may come as a shock to some, but I'm sure some of you agree with me here. Personally, I can't stand using the translucent liquid glass color for my clock. Depending on the image, I always just choose the solid color option and make it either black or white. I love high levels of contrast and readability. The glass just doesn't look right to me in most scenarios. No offense, Apple. This next part is very important in order to pull off that clean depth effect where the time goes behind the subject in your wallpaper. It's crucial that the image you choose has a very clearly defined subject and background. You can see here with this photo that I took of the mountain and the sky have a very clean separation between the two. If you picked an image with this clean separation, you'll see the depth effect option show up when you hit the button with the three little dots. Move and resize the wallpaper as you'd like, and use the grab handle at the bottom of the time to manually adjust its height and get the perfect amount of depth that feels right for you. Since the new clock font is so large, Apple has shifted the other widget menu that used to be right under the time to now be at the bottom of the lock screen. I actually really like this look. It allows the date and time to look nice and clean at the top while still allowing you to add your widgets at the bottom. I've been obsessed with this motivation widget that I've been using for a couple months now. It gives me a fresh motivational quote every 30 minutes. And honestly, it looks really clean too. It's a paid app, but I get more value out of the quotes than the money that I pay every month for it. I think it's only like $5 or something. This video isn't sponsored by them or anything. I actually just love this app. I'll leave a link in the bio to the app if you guys wanted to check it out. Next, we've got the long press buttons. On the left, I still keep the flashlight. It's honestly just muscle memory at this point. But for the right button, there is no need to have this as the camera button, since you can just easily swipe left from the right side of your screen to quickly open the camera. This is a prime example of removing redundancy. In my opinion, you should never have two ways to do the exact same function in the exact same place. Instead, I've chosen to set it to start a voice memo for when I get random ideas for future videos. Feel free to set this right button to whatever you feel you'd want to be able to do quickly without having to unlock your iPhone. Before I move on from the lock screen, I just wanted to mention that if you did want to try out that spatial scene feature that I mentioned earlier, just hit the little hexagon beside the three dots and it will begin to create a spatial scene. This tends to override the depth effect feature though, and I personally much prefer the look of the static image with the depth effect. But it's totally up to you which vibe you decide to go for. Now, moving on to the control center. I'll delete everything from mine so that we can start fresh from scratch. Let's start with connectivity. Personally, I add airplane mode, cellular, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth as individual tiles. I much prefer this over the default connectivity menu because it easily allows you to long press either the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to access quick options for which devices you want to connect to. Otherwise, you have to click to open the other style menu, which just adds an extra step. To the right, drop in a small now playing tile. No need for the big one unless you really like album art. I keep orientation lock, silent mode, and the focus mode drop-down menu so that it can easily switch between my focus modes. Of course, you'll want the classic brightness and volume sliders, allowing you to utilize their long press functionality as well. Now, I've got 8 remaining slots for functions that I feel I use the most. And also, as you may have noticed, I like to shift my entire layout down by 2 tiles so that I can easily reach everything when using my iPhone with one hand. The 8 functions I chose for the bottom are flashlight, calculator, low power mode, timer, screen recording, QR scanner, quick notes, and a custom shortcut to open YouTube Studio because I check comments and analytics constantly. Speaking of which, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. I used to have the camera button in here prior to getting the 17 Pro, but now that I have the camera control button, it would make no sense to have it in my control center anymore. But if you don't have the camera control button, I recommend having the camera in your control center so that you can easily open it anytime you're already using your phone. Now, moving on to the widgets page. I still like keeping my home screen as minimal as possible. So any widgets that I use occasionally live in the widgets menu to the left of the home screen. To edit, long press anywhere that's empty space to enter wiggle mode. Remove everything to start clean using the little minus icons. Here's my setup. I have a large Google News widget at the top for daily headlines, a medium reminders widget under that for upcoming tasks, a medium battery widget tracking my iPhone, Apple Watch, AirPods, and any other Bluetooth devices I may have connected. And finally, a large screen time widget at the bottom. It's a quick reality check on whether or not I'm staying under my ideal daily use or should probably go touch grass. Feel free to add as many widgets as you see fit. It's really nice that all your widgets can live over on this one separate page, which allows you to keep your home screen as clean and aesthetic as possible. Speaking of the home screen, Apple's added a couple new customization features in iOS 26, but for the most part, I don't even use them. It's totally up to you if you feel you can pull off a clean home screen with the new clear icon setup, but again, this is another visual feature that I feel 99% of the time just doesn't look good. So I am still sticking to the dark mode icons without labels. I find this definitely looks the cleanest in my opinion, but after all, I am team dark mode, so this is rather subjective. If you didn't know that you could remove the labels from your icons, it's as simple as hitting the two little squares at the top right of the customization menu. Feel free to play around with the clear and tinted options as you'd like. I've definitely seen some people create some pretty cool tinted themes that go well with certain wallpapers. It's all totally up to you. I'm sure you've noticed that I have my apps laid out in a pretty unique way. I'm in love with this C-shaped app pattern and I've been using it on my iPhone for roughly a year now. It looks super clean and it has just enough spaces to have my most used key apps while allowing for this really nice space in the middle for my widget stack. If you don't know what a widget stack is, here's a quick TLDR. Basically, you can have several widgets of the same size living within a little scrollable stack. But the beauty of it is that that stack only takes up the space of one widget. You can then easily scroll between whatever widgets you have in the stack right on your home screen. I love this feature so much. Mine's currently only the calendar and weather, but you can add in as many as you'd like. I'm not 100% sure if there's a limit on it. I think it might be 10, but check it out for yourself. For the dock, I keep my 4 essentials: phone, Messages, Safari, and Spotify. And yes, Spotify is the way to go. This is the way. iOS 26 proves that Apple is embracing a lot more customization while keeping that clean, intuitive feel that iOS is known for. Have fun experimenting with layouts and finding what fits your style best. Until next week, this has been Nicknology, signing off. With iOS 26, Apple has added some really cool new customization features. Tweaking, bro. With iOS 26, Apple has added some really cool new Why? Oh my god. Okay. Alright. I can't get this, man. This is the first line. Oh my god. Tap the plus button and you'll see... Tap the plus button and you'll see a number of options at the top, as well as some presets that your iPhone... Tap the plus button and... Tap the plus button. Oh. Tap the plus button and you'll see some options...